Masbate, a province already grappling with a history of devastating typhoons, has been pushed to its limits once again after taking a direct hit from Severe Tropical Storm Opong, international name Bualoi. The storm, which made landfall in the province's Palanas town early Friday morning, left a trail of destruction that has prompted the provincial government to declare a state of calamity. The declaration will allow local officials to utilize emergency funds and accelerate the delivery of much-needed aid to the hundreds of thousands affected. Opong's rampage through Masbate was marked by punishing winds and torrential rainfall that left no community untouched. Local authorities have reported multiple casualties, with the death toll in the province rising to 9 by Saturday evening. The victims include a 16-year-old boy killed by a collapsed wall, a 6-year-old boy who drowned during an evacuation, and a 30-year-old man crushed by a fallen tree. In the town of Batuan, a 62-year-old woman was killed when a coconut tree fell on her house. In Cataingan, 2 fatalities were reported, including a 13-year-old boy crushed by a fallen tree. Eyewitnesses described a night of terror as Opong tore through the province. Around 4 a.m., the wind destroyed the door, the windows, and the ceiling of the church, said Jerome Martinez, a municipal engineer in Masbate. That's one of the strongest winds I've ever experienced. He added that countless homes had been destroyed, with debris blocking roads and leaving many families without shelter. The powerful storm also toppled electric posts, resulting in a province-wide power outage that continues to hinder communication and relief efforts. The immediate aftermath has been a scene of widespread destruction and urgent humanitarian need. The Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, PDRRMO, is scrambling to collect damage reports from all municipalities, but many local government units are having difficulty communicating due to the power and communication outages. Despite the challenges, local officials and residents are working together to clear debris, but the scale of the damage is immense. The provincial government has appealed for immediate assistance from the national government, including help to clear roads, restore power, and reopen ports to allow for the delivery of aid. Responding to the crisis, the national government has mobilized various agencies to assist Masbate. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, MMDA, has deployed 3 humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, HADR, teams to the province. The teams, consisting of personnel from the Public Safety Division, Metro Parkways Clearing Group, and Road Emergency Group, are equipped with water purification systems, road clearing equipment, and medical supplies. Meanwhile, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, DSWD, has dispatched relief convoys with food, bottled water, and shelter materials to aid displaced families. In addition to government efforts, solidarity and compassion have been on full display. Churches across the Bicol region, including the Diocese of Masbate, are conducting special collections during masses to aid the typhoon victims. Religious leaders have urged the faithful to give generously, with the Diocese of Legazpi stating, "By giving generously, you are directly helping our brothers and sisters in Masbate who are struggling with loss, damage, and disruption caused by the storm." Student organizations, like PUPLAUD, have also launched donation drives to help their fellow Masbatinos. The road to recovery will be long and arduous for Masbate. Thousands of residents, many of whom were preemptively evacuated, remain in temporary shelters, unsure of what awaits them when they return. The storm's impact on infrastructure and livelihoods will be felt for months, if not years. However, with aid and support from both the government and private sector pouring in, the resilient spirit of the Masbatinos offers a glimmer of hope amidst the devastation. The Office of Civil Defense in Bicol is validating reports of 4 casualties at the height of Severe Tropical Storm Opong. Claudio Ucot, Director of the Office of Civil Defense in Baikal and chairperson of the Baikal Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, said Friday the 3 victims were from Masbate province and 1 from Camarines Norte. We have 4 reported casualties. 1 from Monreal, Masbate, who was hit by a fallen tree. Another who was crushed by a collapsed wall in Masbate City. A 3rd in Mobo, who died due to falling debris. And a 4th from Mercedes, Camarines Norte, who was struck by lightning. All reports are currently being verified by the management of the dead and missing cluster, he said in an interview. UCOT added that among the 6 provinces affected, Masbate sustained significant damage, as the entire province is also without power. There are many damaged structures there, particularly their electric coop. We have communicated this to our central office, and they assured us that they will send personnel from the Department of Energy to bring task force capited to help restore the power supply. The governor requested assistance to help in clearing since much debris was scattered in the city and other towns, he said. UCOT assured the public that the national government is working to provide aid to those affected. Food and non-food items are on standby and ready for distribution once the tropical cyclone wind signals are lifted in the provinces. We are also preparing non-food items that are needed in the province, including GI sheets, tarpaulin, family kits, hygiene kits, he added. Claudio Villarreal, Chief of the Disaster Response Management Division of the Department of Social Welfare and Development in Baikal, DSWD-5, assured that food packs and non-food items are ready for distribution. It has a stockpile of more than PHP 218 million of food and non-food items pre-positioned in warehouses. 5 trucks in Pio Duran Port with more than 8,600 family food packs are waiting to be transported to Masbate province for augmentation for affected local government units. The agency provided more than PHP 7 million assistance to the LGUs. The DSWD recorded over 318,111 persons or 85,691 families from 543 barangays affected by Opong. Meanwhile, on Saturday, September 27th, the death toll from the Bualoi Tropical Storm in the Philippines increased to 19 people, while more than 2 million people were affected in various regions, according to local officials. Bualoi came after Super Typhoon Ragasa hit the country a few days earlier, killing more than 20 people in Taiwan and the Philippines. Based on the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, NDRMC, so far 19 people have died and 18 others have been injured as a result of a series of tropical cyclones, known as Opong, Nando, and Mirasol by local residents, local media Inquirer reported. Authorities say more than 2 million people have been affected by Bualoi. Nearly 408,000 people have been evacuated to safe places and thousands have been forced to flee. A total of 32 cities and districts have set disaster status, while strong winds cut electricity in 143 cities and regencies. Heavy rains, strong winds, and floods also damaged more than 5,200 houses and displaced 7,678 passengers at the port due to poor sea conditions. On Friday, Bualoi brought heavy rain and strong winds to the central regions of the Philippines and southern Luzon, thereby increasing the threat to residents who were still affected by the floods in Bulacan. Typhoon Opong, the Philippines' 15th tropical cyclone for 2025, brought moderate to torrential rain and fierce winds to many areas in Luzon and the Visayas. It made landfall 6 times, first as a typhoon in Eastern Samar late Thursday evening, September 25th, then as a severe tropical storm twice in Masbate, twice in Romblon, and once in Oriental Mindoro on Friday, September 26th. The southwest monsoon or habagat is also affecting several provinces on the western side of the country. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, PAGASA, warned the public to be on alert for hazards, including floods, landslides, and storm surges. The heavy rain spawned by Typhoon Opong that flooded several areas in the city and Negros Occidental has affected 31,838 persons, with 2,053 of them now sheltered in evacuation centers in 12 local government units. The Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council reported at 5 p.m. Friday, September 26th. The affected areas are the cities of Sili, Talisi, Bago, and La Carlota, and the towns of Magalona, Hinigaran, Binalbagan, La Castellana, Manapla, and Hinobon. In Bacolod City, which is politically independent from the province, about 2,505 families were affected by Opong, of which 255 are in our evacuation centers, Mayor Greg Gasataya said. In addition to the relief packs prepared by the Bacolod Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, they have also requested family food packs from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Gasataya said in a Facebook post. There were 255 families with 1,257 individuals in evacuation centers in barangays Taculing, 10, Banago, Pahanacoy, and Cabug, the mayor said. The municipal government of Ibajay placed the municipality under a state of calamity due to the flooding caused by severe tropical storm Opong, according to a report on Super Radio DZBB on Saturday by Ava Marie Moises of Super Radio Calibo. 35 barangays were affected by the storm and most of them were flooded. Even areas that were not flood-prone got flooded, which caught residents by surprise. Many were stranded and needed to be rescued. The town lost power supply for around 10 hours. It was past 9 p.m. on Friday when the electricity was restored. To address the widespread destruction wrought by severe tropical storm Opong, the Municipal Council of Ibajay in Aklan Province declared the municipality under a state of calamity on Friday, September 26, 2025. Through Resolution Number 2025-061, the Council unanimously authorized the use of the Municipal Calamity Fund to support relief operations, rehabilitation, and recovery. The resolution said Opong made a direct hit on all of the 35 barangays in Ibajay, inflicting extensive damage and destruction to public infrastructure, power, communication and other utilities, crops, livestock, fisheries, homes, and private properties. It emphasized the urgency of deploying relief efforts and restoring essential services to vulnerable residents. Due to the disaster and displacement relief operations must be undertaken to assist the victims and displaced families, reads the document. The municipal government and its component barangays are empowered to tap their respective calamity funds for emergency response, subject to normal accounting and auditing rules. The resolution was adopted in a special session on Friday, the same day Opong struck Ibajay. It was certified correct by Secretary Mujan Begonia C. Maroi, attested by Vice Mayor Nestor Francisco M. Inocencio, the presiding officer, and approved by Mayor Jose Miguel M. Miraflores. While detailed local statistics for Ibajay remained pending, the broader western Visayas region also felt the storm's effects. As of September 25th, several parts of western Visayas, including Aklan, were placed under tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 as Opong's winds and rain bands approached. The Office of Civil Defense for Region 6 instructed local government units to activate incident management teams, IMTs, and preposition relief goods, search and rescue gear, and other resources in anticipation of impact. In the region's port hubs, 1,284 passengers were reported stranded due to the suspension of sea travel following the storm as of Friday. Travel between the provinces of Antique and Aklan on Panay Island ground to a halt after the approach of Bacalan Bridge in Sebaste town in Antique collapsed on Friday, September 26, 2025, following torrential rains brought by Severe Tropical Storm Opong. The closure of Bacalan Bridge severed access starting from Antique's three towns, San Jose, the provincial capital, Sebaste and Libertad, to Calibo, Aklan's capital. Motorists from Aklan heading to Antique's capital were also stranded, disrupting access to provincial government offices. Antique Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, PDRRMO, Chief Broderick Train said engineers from the Department of Public Works and Highways in Western Visayas, DPWH-6, have inspected the structure. NGR. Godwin Ledesma of DPWH's Regional Equipment Management Division said the agency was preparing to install a Bailey Bridge to temporarily reconnect the national highway while Bacalan Bridge undergoes major repairs. However, no timeline has been set as the work depends on the transport of a backhoe unit and materials from San Jose. Sebaste Mayor January Padpad said she has requested additional heavy equipment from the Kulaysay municipal government to help fast-track the bridge's replacement. If people want to reach the northern part, they will have to walk across and then take another ride to continue to their destination in northern Antique, Train said, adding that residents on foot can still cross the structure, but vehicles remain barred. No other bridges in Antique have been reported damaged, according to the PDRRMO, although 6 bridges and roads across the province were rendered impassable at the height of the storm. The Bacalan Flood Control Project, worth P4.1 million, was also reported damaged, based on initial data from the Office of Civil Defense in Western Visayas, OCD-6. As of 1 p.m. Saturday, OCD-6 said Opong had affected 89,519 individuals, or 25,880 families, in 283 barangays across Antique. 2 people, including a 3-month-old baby girl, died in separate incidents in Samar province as Typhoon Opong lashed through eastern Visayas early on Friday, September 26th, according to reports released by local authorities on Saturday. In Tagapulan town, police identified the infant only as Jessa. Initial investigation by the Tagapulan Municipal Police Station, MPS, showed that at around 4 a.m. on Friday, the baby and her mother were swept away by flash floods in Barangay Luna. The mother survived the incident, but the child was carried away by the strong current, authorities said. Search and rescue operations were immediately conducted by personnel from the Tagapulan MPS, the Municipal Social Welfare and Development Office, MSWDO, and the Rural Health Unit. The baby's body was found at the side of a stream at around 7:20 a.m. on the same day. In Calbayog City, also in Samar, a woman identified only as Vilma, a resident of Purok 3, Barangay Malajog, Tinambacan District, was killed after a coconut tree fell on the house where she had sought shelter at the height of the typhoon. Police said the victim had evacuated to the house of her cousin's live-in partner on the evening of September 25th. At about 3 a.m. on September 26th, strong winds toppled a coconut tree that crashed onto the house, striking the woman as she slept. The Calbayog City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office rescue team reported the incident to police, who found the house destroyed and coordinated with the city health office for a post-mortem examination. The victim's remains were brought to Bornek Funeral Services in the city. 7 passengers of a motorbanca that capsized in the waters between Hamanhan Island and mainland Eastern Samar were rescued. 6 of the 7 individuals on board the motorbanca were seen floating in the waters of Barangay Sulangan in Giyuan town. The motorbanca left Hamanhan Island at around 7 a.m. on September 25, 2025. However, huge waves knocked the boat over. The motorboat operator was found past 9 a.m. on September 26, 2025, or over 24 hours since the incident occurred. The individuals were taken to the Felipe Abrigo Memorial Hospital for medical treatment, where they were visited by officials of the local government unit, LGU, of Giyuan. The 7 individuals are already in fine condition as of Friday evening. As of 5 a.m., Typhoon Opong was located 505 kilometers west of Indang, Cavite, packing maximum sustained winds of 120 kilometers per hour near the center, and with gustiness of up to 150 kilometers per hour, and moving west-northwestward at 30 kilometers per hour. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, PAGASA, said signal number 1 remains hoisted over the western portion of Pangasinan, Agno, Burgos, Desal, Infanta, Mabini, Zambales, Bataan, the western portion of Cavite, Corregidor Island, Ternate, Maragondon, Magallanes, the western portion of Batangas, Nasugbu, Lien, Cataingan, Balayan, the northern portion of Occidental Mindoro, Paluan, Mamburao, Abra de Ilog, including Lubang Islands and Calamian Islands. Opong will exit the Philippine Area of Responsibility, PAR, Saturday morning or noon. Outside the PAR, it will move generally west-northwestward towards northern Vietnam. Cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms are expected over Metro Manila, Ilocos region, central Luzon, Calabarzon, and Mimaropa due to the trough of Opong. Meanwhile, the same weather conditions will prevail over western Visayas, Negros Island region, and Zamboanga Peninsula due to the southwest monsoon. The rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms due to localized thunderstorms. Moderate to strong winds and moderate to rough seas will be experienced over Luzon, while the rest of the archipelago will have light to moderate winds and slight to moderate seas.